Have y'all ever wondered what happens to all those people who just go missing? Like, that stuff shouldn't be possible anymore. Like the internet, DNA technology, and surveillance cameras everywhere. Well, unfortunately, some cases are so mysterious that even though we all have this technology,
they still can't be solved.
And most of them are murders. So guys, today I'll be showing y'all the most gut-wrenching unsolved murders I could find. We'll see everything from skin suits from real human skin to places where dead bodies just pop out of nowhere. So guys, if you've bought anything this Black Friday, then make sure you like and subscribe. Have y'all ever been to a yogurt store before? I didn't even know that was a thing before I saw this video, but it sounds yummy, right? But imagine you're working the closing shift at this yogurt store, and you invited your friends to hang out. But this night, you spot two people who've just stayed too long in the store, even though it's closed. What happened next is just shocking, guys. Check it out.
Friday, December 6, 1991, 17-year-olds Eliza Thomas and Jennifer Harbison were working the night shift at an I Can't Believe It's yogurt shop. The yogurt shop was very busy that night. There were a lot of customers, and at one point, Eliza's own mother even stopped by just to check in on her daughter, and everything seemed to be going well that night. Around 9:30 p.m. that night, Jennifer's younger sister Sarah stopped by the yogurt shop with her best friend Amy. The two girls were planning on having a sleepover later that night, so they went to the yogurt shop to wait for Jennifer to get off work so she could bring them back to Sarah's house. That night, the store was set to close at 11 p.m., and the rule was that 15 minutes before closing time, the girls needed to lock the front door. That way, any new customers wouldn't be able to get inside while the girls cleaned up and counted the money. So at 10:25 p.m. that night, Eliza and Jennifer began cleaning up the shop with the help of Sarah and her best friend Amy. At around 10:42 p.m., the final few customers were getting ready to leave the store when they noticed that the only people left inside were Amy, Eliza, Jennifer, and Sarah, plus two men. These two men were just sitting at a booth. They weren't even eating frozen yogurt. They were just having a can of soda, and they were whispering to each other and just acting kind of odd. One of the customers leaving was a woman, and she saw this and she thought it was a little bit strange, so before she left, she asked Eliza and Jennifer if they were okay. The girls said no, that they felt fine and that they were just cleaning up and then getting ready to leave soon. Eliza and Jennifer said goodbye to the woman. They locked the front door with the two men still inside the store and then went back to cleaning. 15 minutes later, it was 11 p.m., closing time. However, 3 minutes after closing time at 11:03 p.m., there was a no sale rung up in the cash register. Next to the frozen yogurt shop was a party supply store, and at 11:47 p.m. that night, the owner of the party store realized that there was smoke coming from the yogurt shop and he could see flames inside. Firefighters immediately arrived to the scene, and as they were going through the building, they came across the nude bodies of 4 teenage girls. All 4 girls were found stripped, bound with their own clothing, and shot in the head.
That's so sad, guys. Like, did the two men hide, or how did they not get noticed when they were closing the store? Well guys, I actually did some digging, and this crime was unsolved for 33 years. But this September, they actually solved who did it. Isn't that crazy? It took them 33 years to find out who done it. And apparently, it wasn't 2 guys, but only this guy called Robert Eugene Brashers, who was a known serial killer. Unfortunately, he didn't go to prison since he got shot by police in 1999. But man, I hope he rots in hell. Like, the parents of those sisters must have been so devastated. Imagine losing both of your children in one day. That's just heartbreaking, guys. Alright guys, let's take a short break from the murders. This next one was like a money heist you only see in movies. This kidnapping might have been the greatest of all time, and it was so next level that it's literally unsolved to this day, and it literally happened in mid-air. This was some real James Bond type movie stuff. Take a look.
This is the greatest unsolved mystery in FBI history. On November 24th, 1971, Dan Cooper was riding in the back of a plane. He called a stewardess over and showed her a bomb he had in his briefcase. His demands were simple. He wanted $200,000 and 4 parachutes. After landing in Seattle, Cooper exchanged the 36 passengers for the money and parachutes. He then ordered the pilots to fly to Reno, Nevada. During this flight, Cooper told the crew to go into the cockpit and lock the door. After they landed in Reno and came out of the cockpit, Cooper and the bomb were nowhere to be found, and the stairway was left extended. At some point between Seattle and Reno, Dan Cooper jumped into the dark of night, never to be seen again. There have been suspects through the years, but none of them turned out to be Cooper.
Low-key, respect to that guy. He pulled off a pretty well thought out plan and actually got away with it. And he was slick with it. Like, he didn't even murder anyone. He just got his money and jumped out of the plane. But like kidnapping a whole plane is so impressive to me. Like how did he even think of that plan? And $200,000 might seem like a low sum, considering he jumped out of a whole plane. But back in that time, $200,000 could buy more than $1.6 million today. Kinda crazy, right guys? I might even go hijack a plane myself. I'm kidding, by the way. FBI agent, please don't take this seriously. Alright guys, let's go back to the crazy unsolved murders. You gotta hear about this next one. This girl was just minding her business with some mental issues, hanging out in the mental hospital. But then an absolute maniac skinned her. Yeah, like literally peeled off her skin and turned her into a bodysuit. Take a look.
This is the photo of the girl who was turned into a human bodysuit. Yeah, they skinned her. There are real photos of the crime on the internet. I can't show them to you, obviously, but you can Google them. It was a 23-year-old college student who was struggling with depression. She ended up being sent to a psychiatric clinic on November 12, 1998, but ended up going missing instead. Her mother reported her missing to the authorities and they told her to wait. And if they didn't wait, she might still be with us. And then in January 1999, a couple months later, a tugboat crew found human skin and her leg floating in the water. And initially, people thought this was an accident, but like, how does that become an accident? Like, when you see the photos, that was no accident. But then they kind of realized, oh, someone deliberately removed all of her skin and fashioned it into a bodysuit. Very unfortunately, the case went cold for a really long time. And then in 2014 to 2017, there was a lead. Notice the psychological profile of this guy named Robert J. He had really disturbing tendencies. He worked at a zoology institute where he killed the rabbits with no explanation, and he fit the profile of the perpetrator. But there's no real evidence that says that he did this crime, so they ended up letting him go. Unfortunately, justice has not been served for her yet. Her killer has not been found. And if you want to see the crime scene photos, just Google Katarzyna crime, because they're too disturbing to show here.
Do not Google that, guys. I can't even make myself do it. And I look at this spooky stuff for my job. I can't believe they didn't put that guy in jail just because there weren't like fingerprints and stuff on her body. But he definitely looks guilty. What do you guys think? Is he guilty? Okay guys, let me ask you a question. Who do you think of as the most likely person to be murdered? Like if you think about those horror movies, it's always the pretty girl screaming and stuff. But y'all, this didn't come from nothing. Because there's this one case of a famous actress who got cut into pieces, like surgically. Check it out.
The Black Dahlia, also known as Elizabeth Short, was a 22-year-old newly rising artist in Hollywood in the 1940s. On January 9th of 1947, Elizabeth went on a brief trip to San Diego with a man named Robert Manley. This was a married man that she had been seeing. Robert said that after this trip, he dropped Elizabeth off at a hotel in Los Angeles. She allegedly was supposed to be meeting with one of her sisters. 6 days later, in the early morning hours of January 15th, 1947, a mother and her young child was walking through Leimert Park in Los Angeles when they stumbled upon something they wished they hadn't. A young white female in two separate parts. The top of the female's private area was cut off, one of her breasts was severed off, and she also had a Glasgow smile carved into her face. If you don't know what that is, I will insert a picture here. The victim died from cerebral hemorrhage. In other words, a loss of blood. But the victim didn't just bleed out. She was completely drained of her blood. Like intentionally. The way the victim was cut in half made police suspect that whoever did this was in the medical field, had some sort of surgical background. It was unlikely that a regular schmegular person would know how to drain the body of blood to the condition this body was in. One man stood out to police, a person who was allegedly having an affair with Elizabeth, Dr. George Hodel. He originally thought whoever did this to her was in the medical field, and hearing that he was allegedly sleeping around with Elizabeth and then he was a doctor, years pass, right? A man comes forward to police by the name Steve Hodel, the son of George Hodel, and he tells them, yeah, my father killed Elizabeth. Just like that. His father had a box in the attic. When he opened this box, it contained females' items that he didn't recognize, like wondering why his father would have a box of female items. Then along with these items was a photo of a young woman that he recognized from being on TV, from being cut in half at a park. The victim that he had a photo of was the Black Dahlia, Elizabeth Short. George Hodel's son sent all of this stuff to a forensic analysis unit, and they said that these items most likely were Elizabeth's. Then Steve Hodel drops a bombshell. He says that Elizabeth was not his father's first victim. Oh, no. He says that his father is a serial killer.
What kind of monster is even that? She was split in two, laying on the street. Like the fact that even your doctor could be a serial killer is crazy. They're supposed to keep you healthy, not cut you into a two-piece McNugget. Alright Vanilla Beans, this next one isn't so much a specific case, but more just a place. If y'all have ever seen like a patch of overgrown land that just looks abandoned or like neglected, it might just be a killing field. A place like this was found in Texas, and an unknown killer, or killers, had buried multiple bodies in the same field. Check it out.
Texas killing fields are a stretch of highway in an abandoned oil field near Houston and Galveston, where since the 70s over 30 people have been found murdered, and none of the murders have been solved. Most of these victims were young girls and they were abducted, went missing, and were found years later dead. And people theorize that there's still an active killer in the area that's targeting women. I actually visited the killing fields about 2 months ago, and I went to an area behind a Baptist church where there are 4 crosses, meaning that 4 bodies were found there. Let me tell you, it is eerie out there. Look at this video clip that I took when I was there. Isn't that just eerie?
Nah, that place is 100% haunted. Like, imagine how many more bodies are down there. Why don't they just dig it all up? Like, if you found 4 already, there's definitely a pattern to recognize. Why don't they just set up a camera or something, so they can catch the serial killer with his next victim? Like, if I lived near that place, I'd be getting out of there as fast as possible. That serial killer is not getting me. Alright, so this next one just boggles the mind. Y'all know how tall buildings gotta have their water containers on top of the building, right? Well, in this case, the hotel attendants started saying the water tasted funny, almost like blood or rotten body parts. Well, y'all can probably figure out what happened. This is one of those cases that just seems impossible. Check it out.
Security footage captured the woman pressing all of the buttons and nervously peeking into the hallway. Shortly after, she disappeared, leaving no trace for weeks. Later, guests began complaining about low water pressure in the hotel. And when maintenance checked the rooftop water tank, they found her body floating inside. There were no signs of foul play, and her death was ruled as an accidental drowning. But these tanks should have been sealed, and access to the roof was locked. She wouldn't have been able to get in by herself. How did she end up there, and why was she acting so strangely in the elevator? To this day, her death remains an unsettling mystery.
That is weird. Wow. Like, did a worker help her get in? Or maybe they tricked her into going to the roof, just for like fun and giggles. And then she was pushed into the tank. The way she was acting at the elevator is so weird though, right guys? What do y'all think happened? Leave a comment if you think you have a good theory. Also, let's make this the word of the day, guys. Comment water tank murder. Okay guys, this last one just shows y'all why you shouldn't buy into racist narratives. Like, this woman looks like my aunt and she murdered someone just because they were from a different country. This is why you shouldn't let your parents go on Facebook for too long, or they might just go crazy. Take a look.
I don't even have to have a hook for this story as it left me speechless. Hi, my name is Ethan and here's everything you need to know in under 1 minute. This is 56-year-old Billy Davis. On the evening of January 11th, 2023, she was riding the Bloomington Transit bus when an 18-year-old girl had got out of her seat to exit. Out of nowhere, Billy got up and then began beating and stabbing the 18-year-old girl in the head. As soon as it started, it stopped. Billy then got off the bus and walked away. Thankfully, one of the passengers on the bus did follow Billy and eventually called authorities to let them know where her location was. This is the part that really enraged me. Once in custody, she told police that she wanted to unalive the victim due to her, quote, being Chinese, as it would be one less person to blow up the country, end quote. According to reports, she is now facing up to life in prison for attempted murder.
Nah, girl, you're not a hero. Even if you think you are. Like, what Asian 18-year-old girls blows up bombs and stuff? Like, did she think Osama bin in the bus? Guys, this is why you shouldn't watch Fox News. Don't have your brain rotted like this woman did. Or scroll Twitter. Definitely don't do that. Alright, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you all don't get too scared of going outside. Like, these murders are really rare, so y'all should be fine. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, stay safe. Bye bye!